Welcome to this presentation on the Sound Health portal. Today we're going to cover some more portal layout information about the basic structure of the portal and how to navigate the various pages. Let's start by pointing out that there are several lists of information in the portal. When you first log in, you land on the All Clients list page. There's an All Evaluations list page. When you're inside of a client's folder, there is a list of all of the client's voice files and a list of all of the evaluations. Since evaluations are linked directly to voice files, there is another list, and that is a voice files evaluations list. Let's start out by finding out some of the things that are available as functions on the All Clients list page where you first land when you log in. You're able to create a new client, and you're able to delete selected clients, and as a practitioner you can merge two or more client folders. Let's look at that. So here we are on the clients list page. We have the ability to create a new client folder here. If I select some items, then these buttons become active. So let's do that. Now I can delete these clients, and I can merge these client folders into one client folder. On the All Evaluations list page, I'm able to delete the evaluations that I select. As a practitioner, I'm able to compare two or more evaluations, and I'm able to create an evaluation report for the first evaluation that I select. To do that, click on the hamburger icon in the top left corner. It opens the menu. Click on Evaluations. I can close this menu by clicking on the hamburger again. To activate these buttons, I will select some evaluations. Now I'm able to delete those evaluations, and I can compare these evaluations, and I can create a report for the first evaluation that I selected. So if I click on a client's folder here on the All Clients list page, it sends me directly to that client's folder. If I click on an evaluation on the All Evaluations list page, it sends me directly to those evaluations within that client's folder. Let's move into a client's folder now and see what's available. First of all, there are three tabs. The first tab is for all of the voice files that this client has. The second tab is all of the evaluations for this client. And the third tab is where I have two sub-tabs, the symptoms that I can assign to this client's folder and notes that I created when I built the client's folder in the first place. To get to a client's folder, if I click on the banner here, it'll send me back to the All Clients list page. And so let's open a client's folder by clicking anywhere in this row. And here's the Voice Files tab. Here is the Evaluations tab. And here is the Info tab. And the sub-tabs for the Info tab are the symptoms, also the notes that I added when I created my client's folder. Some of the capabilities in the clients folder: a button that will create a new client folder. I can edit the current client, or I can click on the previous or next record or client folder. Here are those buttons that I just mentioned. I can create a new client. I can edit this client's folder. And these buttons will move me to the next record. So right now we're in Jacob Anderson's folder. If I click Next, it moves me to Laura Hahn's folder, and I can go back to Jacob Anderson's folder. In the Voice Files tab inside the Clients folder, I am able to upload a new voice file. I can delete any selected voice files, and I can compare two or more voice files, and I can create a NanoVoice chart for the first voice file that I select. Let's do that by going back to the Voice Files tab, and here I can create a new voice file. If I select one or more of these voice files, I can delete those voice files. I can compare those voice files. If I select this button, it will create a NanoVoice chart for the first voice file that I selected. If I click on the Evaluations tab, I'm able to delete any selected evaluations. As a practitioner, I'm able to compare 2 or more evaluations, and I'm able to create an evaluation report for the first evaluation that I selected. So we'll click on Evaluations. To make these buttons active, I need to select some evaluations. So we'll click a couple here. Now I'm able to delete those evaluations, and I'm able to compare those evaluations. If I click any of these buttons, I am able to create a report for the first evaluation that I selected. Finally, on the Info tab, I have the ability to link or unlink symptoms to this particular client's folder, and I'm able to export those symptoms. There is the sub-tab called Notes, which represents the information I provided when I created my client's folder. Click on Info tab. Symptoms. If I select a particular symptom, I'm able to unlink that symptom, or I can link new symptoms to my client's folder. On the Notes tab, this is the information I provided when I created my client's folder. Let's look more closely at the client's folder. Remember, we have the Voice Files tab and we have the Evaluations tab. If I were to click one of the voice files in the Voice Files tab, it will send me to the Voice Files page. Let's look more closely at the Voice Files page. Let's go back to the Voice Files tab, and we'll select a voice file by clicking anywhere in this row. Let's find out what these buttons do. On the client's voice files page, I'm able to upload a new voice file. I can edit the current voice file data. I can create a NanoVoice chart for this voice file. The report template icon will let me create multiple evaluations for this particular voice file. Previous next record will move me from this voice file to the next voice file of my client. There's also the ability to go back to the client's folder by clicking on their hyperlinked name. In the Evaluations tab, I'm able to create a new evaluation. I can delete any selected evaluations, and as a practitioner, I'm able to compare 2 or more evaluations. Here I am in the voice file titled Jacob Anderson Autism. I can create a new voice file. I can edit the data of this particular voice file, Jacob Anderson Autism. I'm able to create a NanoVoice chart for this voice file. By clicking on Report Template, I am able to create multiple evaluations of this voice file. Previous record and next record moves me to the next voice file. If I click on this hyperlink here, it sends me back to the client folder. On the Evaluations tab, I'm able to create a new evaluation. If I select some of these evaluations, I can delete these evaluations. And as a practitioner, I'm able to compare 2 or more of these evaluations. Let's look now at the evaluation page of our client's folder. Click on one of the evaluations, and now we're in the Evaluations Allergies eval. And on the client's evaluations page, we're able to, as technicians or practitioners, change the variants. We're able to edit this current evaluation. We're able to assign a different template by clicking on the Report Template button. And we're able to automatically have the computer pull points for us. We can create an evaluation report. This Previous Next Record button will move us to the next evaluation. We're able to go to the voice file page by clicking on the name of the voice file, and we're able to go to the client's folder by clicking on the client's name. Also, there are several tabs in the client's evaluation page: the GNS tab, the Frequency Hits tab, Wave tab, Symptoms tab, and Memo tab. Another video will present these details about the evaluation page. So on this client's evaluations page, the allergies eval, this is where we will change the variance. We are able to edit this evaluation. We can assign a different template for this evaluation. We can automatically pull points by various methods. We can create a report for this evaluation. The next button will move me from this evaluation for this voice file to the next evaluation of this voice file. And now we're on the mundane evaluation for this voice file. If I were to click on this button, it sends me to the voice file page. If I click on this button, it sends me to the current client folder. Thank you for watching this and other videos helping you embrace the power of the portal. Until next time, be well.